Car Obsession is proudly supported by Exchange My Car, Carly and Draggy. For a limited time only, use Car Obsession 10 to get money off with Carly, and there's also a discount code for Draggy as well, which again is Car Obsession 10. All of the details are in the video description below. Hello guys, welcome back to Car Obsession and welcome to another point of view. Now as you can see, I've got the newish Audi TT RS in front of me, and of course that is the car we'll be driving today. So I'll give you a quick walk around the car, just a quick one. So it's finished in Nardo Grey, as you can see. I've got the RS Sports exhaust as an optional extra, nice gloss black diffuser. I've got 19-inch alloys. These alloys are standard, but I do have optional red brake calipers, which I really like, but not quite as much as the engine. So I will of course open the bonnet or the hood. Keyless entry, very handy. So unlike the TTS I drove some time ago, this, if I can open up the bonnet, open up the bonnet, where's the thing gone? Oh, there we go. I had my hand on it the whole time. There we go. Oh, it's very lovely and warm. So this is the 2.5 litre 5-cylinder turbocharged petrol, 400 horsepower, 480 newton meters of torque, 0 to 62 in 3.7 seconds, top speed 155. But if you go for the right option, you can get 174 miles. Of course, power is fed to all four wheels via a 7-speed S-tronic gearbox. Anyway, that is enough chit chat. Let's do some driving. Slip my way into this very nice driver's seat. You've got fine nappa leather. You've got the red styling pack as an option, and the red stitching, which is a no cost option. Right. Okay, I love the fact that the engine start-stop button is on the steering wheel. Feels very supercar like, and hear it roar it into life. Okay, make sure I'm good. Now I have done a few launches in this car already, so I'm not going to do another one because I don't want to take the mickey. I do want to have some mechanical sympathy for the car. So yes, we will just go off in a spirited fashion. Whoa! Yes, sorry if my head jerked back a lot there. It was a bit violent, but in a good way. So I've got 4 drive modes at my disposal. I've got comfort, auto, dynamic or individual. I've got it locked into dynamic, as you can see. And let's get the S-tronic into sport mode, shall we? There's also a button down here where you can change the exhaust/engine sound. So you've got sport or standard. Of course we want it in sport, yes. Now the ride in this car is quite firm. This hasn't got the Audi magnetic ride, which is the adaptive suspension. So the camera work may be a little bit shaky because of course my head is moving, so I can only apologise in advance. Now if you do want to see a video of me launching the car, I will put a link for that in the video description. Spoiler alert, it's very fast. So as I've mentioned, this car hasn't got the adaptive suspension, so it doesn't matter whether you have it in dynamic or slip it into comfort, the ride comfort will remain the same. So the ride comfort, I keep saying comfort a lot, the chassis is firm, as you would expect from a sports car, and you can probably tell my head is moving about a little bit. Is it too firm for daily use? I would say no. It is on the jiggly side, and particularly at slower speeds you will notice there is a firm edge to it, but it's not disastrous. However, I would urge you to at least test drive a TTRS with the magnetic ride. I believe that is only available on the range-topping Vorsprung. Now, even though this is a sports car, it is relatively refined. Not too much road noise coming in to the cabin from the 19-inch alloys, which are wrapped around with Bridgestone Potenza tyres. Well, I'm having to use so much discipline for my right foot right now, but thankfully, as you can see, I've got the national speed limit sign in front of me, and away we go. just literally stopped at 60. I almost got carried away then. I had to dab the brakes there. It just gives you an idea of just how fast this car is. Now, yes, this isn't the most playful sports car in the corners, but it's very grippy, it's very capable. The steering is very sharp, I love it. It's got a nice responsiveness to it. The weight is pretty good as well, and the body roll is well controlled. So this car is only available with the 7-speed S-tronic gearbox, and as much as I love a manual, I don't mind that too much because the S-tronic in this is wonderful. It's very slick, very responsive. Yes, okay, you do need to wait a few moments for it to wake up when you kick down on the accelerator, but once you get it on song, this thing flies. Whether you leave it to its own devices or you can knock that to the side and then take control yourself. And one thing I like when you have it in the manual sport mode is that it won't change up for you. So many automatics or semi-automatics, you take it to the red line and it will change up for you, which I find really annoying. What's the point of having a manual mode if it's going to take over anyway? Just realised I haven't got my driving gloves on. No, what have I done? To be fair, it's been a very jam-packed day, and I was a bit rushed setting up for this video, so yes, the driving gloves are not present today, which is a shame because they're black and red, so they would suit the interior very nicely, but hey ho. At least I get to enjoy the Alcantara on the steering wheel. It feels really premium in the hands, and it feels, you know, proper supercar like. So yeah, so if I take control of the paddles, so immediate. But I'll demonstrate in a few moments, so when I give it more of a blip, you'll see that when you hit the red line, it won't change up for you, and I love that. I really, really do. Right, are we ready? Whoa. You really have to be careful when you accelerate, because before you know it, you're doing the speed limit, and you know you're doing beyond the speed limit. But yeah, if I just slow down, there's nothing behind me, you'll see that if I actually see, as you can see, it won't change up for you. Oh, does sound good. As you can see, it is a bit bumpy down here, but I'm still comfortable. The seats are very nice to sit in. They're comfortable but supportive, and they're also set quite low. They're low slung to really give you that sports car feeling. I've driven a few sports cars recently where the driving position has just felt a little bit too high. I'm running out of fuel. Actually, that brings me on to a nice topic: fuel economy. As much as it's no, I'm okay, thank you, Audi. As much as fuel economy is a boring subject, I'm just going to whack that back into the just D or S for the sport mode, obviously. On a combined run, Audi states that you can get up to 31.7 miles to the gallon, and whilst I've had the car, I've achieved 22.8. So yeah, my right foot has been a bit on the heavier side, shall we say, but hey, I've waited a long time to drive this car, and I thought I'm not going to drive it around like a granny. That would just be silly. If you're wondering about CO2 emissions, I will drop them down as a subtitle. Now, in regard to price, the RS has a starting price of around £60,000. This car has been treated with a few options, not too many, so this car that I'm sat in right now is around £64,000. Its rivals include the Alpine A110, the Porsche Cayman, of course, the BMW M2 when that eventually comes out, the new one, and a few other cars as well. To a less extent, you've got the Ford Mustang. I know it's not technically a sports car as such, but it is a similar kind of price bracket to this. I'm just watching the speedo so closely. It's so easy just to overstep the mark. But I suppose that yellow fuel sign tells me everything I need to know about discipline. But yeah, this is fantastic in the corners, it really is. As I said earlier, not the most playful or the most fun sports car you can have, but my word is it grippy. Some of you may remember that I drove the TTS back in 2019, and it was a good car, but it just felt cold. It kind of lacked a lot of character. This, on the other hand, is not the same story. Of course, the engine is completely different, and the engine is such a dominating feature in this car for, you know, for the good. Without this engine, without this engine, the TT RS just wouldn't have the same character. It just wouldn't. So yes, I like the sound of the 5-cylinder, but I drove the TT RS back in, I think it was 2016 or 2017. I think it was actually 2017, and that was before the petrol particulate filter, and you can definitely notice a change. That TT RS, it was more snarly, it was more aggressive, it just sounded evil in a good way. But this, on the other hand, is a bit more muted. Yes, it still sounds good, don't get me wrong, but it hasn't got that same kind of crackle to it. As I mentioned, this has got the RS Sports exhaust to try to combat the not lack of noise, but the change in noise. I think that's a better way of putting it. Now, whilst I'm stuck behind some traffic, let me talk you through the interior, which I think is a really nice place to be. Now, you may have spotted I haven't got a touchscreen or a screen for the infotainment. That is because it's all done via the 12.3-inch Audi virtual cockpit, and it means you've got a nice, clean, minimalistic interior. Also, the buttons for the climate control, you may see they're actually within these little mini turbines, as I call them, the air vents. So that one, you can change how much you want the aircon. You can change the blower speed. That is your temperature, and then that's your other settings. You do get heated seats as standard, so that's just there, like so. Hopefully you can see that, and you have one for the passenger, of course. This is a 4-seater, although to be fair, I don't really know who you'd fit in the rear seats. Now, I have a baby daughter, and even with her in the back, my wife had to sit really far forward because the car seat is quite chunky, and I must admit the car seat didn't really fit the contours of the seat that well. I know it's quite a boring thing to speak about, but for some of you it may be important. Well, what's the turning circle like? Not fantastic, but it's not really designed to be manoeuvrable. As you can see, I've got a reversing camera and front and rear parking sensors. Right, okay, we're good that way, good this way. Okay, right. Let's mash that throttle once more. And watch that speed very closely. The speed climbs almost quicker than you can read it. Yes, anyway, back onto the rear seats. Boring subject, I know. But really, I would argue the rear seats are just an extension of the boot. Just somewhere to, an extra space to stick your shopping bags or luggage if you're going for a road trip or a weekend away. So quadrifoglio. It is a quadrifoglio. I was lucky enough to drive one of those recently. That video should now be on the channel, so please do check it out. Fantastic car. Absolutely fantastic. love this bit of road. It's lovely and quiet now as well, but quietish. On the brakes, I don't think I've spoken about the brakes. The brakes perform really well. There's a nice feedback through the pedal as well. They're firm and reassuring, which frankly, that's what you want from brakes. You want to feel reassured. Oh, lovely stuff. I don't know how long I've been speaking, but it's probably time to end, because I need more fuel. I need more fuel. And let's finish off with a bumpy ride. It's not what I was going to say. All of that is quite bumpy. I was going to say let's finish off with a beautiful view of the South Downs. Just look at that. The wondrous South Downs. What a beautiful sight. I do hope you can see at least some of it, because it is a beautiful, beautiful view. Let's pop into park. Yes, that was quite a good drive, a very good drive. In fact, I've been waiting ages to get my hands on the RS, so I'm glad that time has now come. So yes, I do hope you have enjoyed this video. A massive thank you to Audi UK for loaning me this car for the week. Yeah, Audi have been quite supportive for the channel, so thank you very much, Audi UK. I say quite supportive, they've been very supportive. I don't know why I'm saying quite. Anyway, that aside, I do hope you have enjoyed this video. If so, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. If you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.